Peppa Pig, the best pet. Peppa and her friends have pets. But whose pet is the best? Peppa has a pet fish.
Wow!
Is a fish the best pet? Pedro has a pet stick bug. Is a stick bug the best pet? Edmund has a pet lizard.
Wow!
Is a lizard the best pet? Zoe has a pet monkey. Is a monkey the best pet? Dr. Hamster has a pet turtle. She wins.
Hooray!
She has the best pet turtle. Peppa wins. She has the best pet fish.
Hooray!
Zoe wins. She has the best pet monkey.
Hooray!
Yes, yes, yes. All of the pets are the best. The end. Peppa goes to Ireland. Peppa and George were packing their suitcases, ready to go to Ireland for an Irish dancing festival.
Wow!
Peppa was so excited, she couldn't stop dancing.
How will we get to Ireland, Daddy?
She asked.
Will we dance all the way there?
Daddy Pig laughed. No, Peppa. Ireland is a long way away. We need to fly or take a boat.
Said Mummy Pig. I don't think we'll fit everything on an aeroplane.
Do we really need all this? Asked Daddy Pig. Mummy Pig nodded. You never know what will come in handy on holiday. OK, said Daddy Pig. We'll take the ferry instead.
We can't take a ferry, Daddy, gasped Peppa. A ferry is too small to carry us.
Not a ferry, Peppa, said Daddy Pig. A ferry. It's a big boat that can carry cars and people.
Oh, said Peppa. That's much better.
Once Mummy and Daddy Pig had squeezed everything into the car, they set off for the ferry port.
Hooray!
We're going to Ireland,
sang Peppa excitedly while practicing her Irish dancing steps.
Madame Gazelle said I must rehearse my dancing.
There's not really room in the car for dance practice, Peppa, said Daddy Pig. We're a bit squished. When they reached the port, Daddy Pig drove their little car inside the enormous ferry that was waiting to take them to Ireland.
It's a bit bigger than Grandpa's boat,
said Peppa. The ferry honked loudly. Just a bit, Daddy Pig shouted over the noise. On the ferry crossing, Peppa and George went out on the deck. Peppa spotted Ireland in the distance.
It's so lovely and green, she cried.
Isn't it beautiful? Said Daddy Pig. People call Ireland the Emerald Isle because it's green like an emerald.
Mummy looks a bit green too, said Peppa. Are you feeling all right, Mummy?
The sea's a bit choppy for me today, said Mummy Pig. When they reached Ireland, the sat-nav gave Daddy Pig directions to the Irish Dancing Festival.
Follow the winding roads, in and out, then up and down, and over the hills,
it said. After a while, Daddy Pig stopped the car so they could have a proper look around. Peppa and George practiced their Irish dancing, up and down and over the hills. As they got to the top of the biggest hill, Peppa spotted Miss Rabbit in a souvenir shop.
"Hello, Miss Rabbit," said Peppa. "What are you doing here?" "Hello, Peppa," said Miss Rabbit. "I'm selling souvenirs." "Look at the Irish dancing outfits," gasped Peppa. "Can we get some for the Irish Dancing Festival, Daddy, please?"
"OK," Daddy Pig said. 4 Irish dancing outfits, please. They can be our little bit of green Ireland to take home." Mammy Pig looked at the other things Miss Rabbit was selling. "Ooh," she said. "I've always wanted one of those, and one of those, and one of those, and..." Soon, Mammy Pig had bought one of everything in Miss Rabbit's souvenir shop. "Are you sure we have room for all this in the car?" asked Daddy Pig. "Don't worry," said Mammy Pig. "I'll find a way to fit it all in." After Mummy Pig's expert packing, Daddy Pig continued the journey along the winding roads.
"Are we at the festival yet?"
asked Peppa. "I think it's just around this bend," said Daddy Pig. Peppa looked eagerly out of the window.
"It's not! Are we at the festival yet now?"
"I think it's just around this bend," said Daddy Pig. Peppa looked out the window again.
"No," she sighed. "It's not."
"Oh no!"
"Will it be much longer?"
asked Peppa. "Why don't we ask the sat-nav?" suggested Mummy Pig. "Your destination is around the next bend," said the sat-nav. When they finally arrived at the Irish Dancing Festival, the sat-nav said, "You have reached your destination." "Hooray!" everyone cheered.
"It's a bit quiet,"
said Peppa as they got out of the car.
"Why can't we hear any music?"
At the festival stage, they found Miss Rabbit again.
"I'm afraid we might have to cancel the festival," she said. "Some of the band have forgotten their instruments."
"Oh no," Peppa said. But then she had a thought.
"What instruments do they need?"
"An accordion, a tin whistle and a fiddle," said Miss Rabbit.
"I think we might have those in our car,"
cried Peppa. Mummy and Daddy Pig checked the car and pulled out an accordion, a tin whistle and a fiddle.
Wow!
"You never know what will come in handy on holiday," said Mummy Pig, smiling. "That's very true, Mummy Pig," said Daddy Pig. Miss Rabbit gathered everyone at the festival together.
"Thanks to Peppa and her family, the Irish Dancing Festival can now begin," she said.
"Hooray!" everyone cheered. Peppa and her family changed into their Irish dancing outfits. The band played their music and everyone started dancing.
"Irish dancing is the best,"
cried Peppa.
"I just can't stop."
"Me neither," said Daddy Pig, going quite red.
"You're not green like Ireland, Daddy," said Peppa. "You're red."
Daddy Pig chuckled. "Thanks, Peppa." Everyone was having so much fun dancing, they didn't notice it was beginning to rain. Luckily, Miss Rabbit appeared with a basket full of welly boots.
"It's getting a bit too muddy to dance now,"
said Miss Rabbit, frowning.
"Yes," said Peppa, "but it's the perfect amount of muddy to do this."
"What a wonderful idea," said Miss Rabbit. Everyone at the Irish Dancing Festival jumped up and down in muddy puddles with Peppa. Peppa and her family love Ireland, and they love jumping up and down in Irish muddy puddles. The end. Peppa goes swimming. It's a lovely sunny day, and Peppa and her family are at the swimming pool.
Peppa, George, let Daddy put on your armbands,
snorts Mummy Pig. Today is George's first time at the pool, and he's a bit scared of getting in. Why don't you just put one foot in the water? Suggests Daddy Pig.
Maybe George should try both feet at the same time,
says Mummy Pig. Splash! Mummy Pig convinces George to jump into the water, and he loves it. Shouts George happily. Ho ho! Well done, George, snorts Daddy Pig. Rebecca Rabbit, her brother Richard, and their mother arrive at the pool too.
Hello everyone,
cries Rebecca.
Squeak, squeak,
says Richard.
Richard, hold on to this float so you can practice kicking your legs,
says Miss Rabbit.
George, would you like to try kicking your legs too?
asks Mummy Pig. Giggles George. Ho ho! Very good, laughs Daddy Pig. But please try not to splash.
Big children don't splash,
asks Peppa.
Big children are very good at swimming,
declares Peppa.
When George and Richard are older, they will be able to swim like us, won't they, Rebecca?
Yes, says Rebecca, as she watches the boys kick and splash. Peppa and Rebecca race each other up and down the pool with their swimming armbands on. They are having lots of fun swimming and splashing in the water. Oops! Richard has dropped his toy watering can into the pool.
Mammy,
cries Richard.
Sorry, Richard, I can't reach it. It's too far down,
says Miss Rabbit. Luckily, Daddy Pig is an excellent swimmer. He takes off his glasses and dives down to get it. There you go, snorts Daddy Pig. Says Richard. Well done, Daddy, says Mammy Pig.
Yes, thank you, Daddy Pig,
says Miss Rabbit. Oh dear, Richard is so happy to have his watering can back that he splashes Daddy Pig with water. George laughs. What a silly little piggy and rabbit. Everyone has had a fun day at the swimming pool. The end. Peppa Pig Strawberries. Grandpa Pig is showing Peppa and George the strawberry he has grown.
Why is it hiding in a little house, Grandpa?
asks Peppa.
Because the cheeky birds have eaten the rest of my strawberries, and I need to protect this last one,
says Grandpa Pig. Grandpa Pig tells Peppa that they can still eat strawberries. He knows the perfect place to go.
Everybody in the car, he says. It's time to visit the strawberry farm. Have you come to pick strawberries?
asks Miss Rabbit when they arrive.
Yes, please, Miss Rabbit,
says Peppa excitedly.
Then you've come to the right place. We've got nothing but strawberries,
says Miss Rabbit.
Pick as many as you like.
Miss Rabbit takes Peppa, George, Granny Pig and Grandpa Pig out to the strawberry fields and gives them each a basket to put their strawberries in.
Wow,
gasped Peppa.
There are so many strawberries.
Pedro Pony and his family are at the strawberry farm too.
Hello, Pedro,
cries Peppa.
Have you picked a lot of strawberries? Yes,
replies Pedro.
But my mummy and daddy keep eating them.
Mr. and Mrs. Pony sigh. They have eaten too many strawberries. Peppa and George giggle. They love skipping along, picking strawberries and putting them in their baskets.
I must say, these strawberries do look lovely,
says Granny Pig.
The real test is to see if the strawberries taste any good,
says Grandpa Pig, picking up a big juicy strawberry and biting into it.
Actually, that is rather good.
Granny Pig eats a strawberry too.
Scrumptious.
Granny and Grandpa Pig eat lots of strawberries. Peppa and George are very good at picking strawberries and have nearly filled up their baskets. Peppa sings a song as they pick up the strawberries.
Strawberry, strawberry, juicy, red and sweet. Strawberry, strawberry, they're so nice to eat.
Peppa and George's baskets are full of strawberries, but Granny and Grandpa Pig's baskets are empty.
Granny, Grandpa, where are your strawberries?
asks Peppa.
In our tummies,
replies Grandpa Pig.
Maybe it's time to go home,
says Granny Pig, rubbing her tummy. Danny Dog and his family has just arrived at the farm, ready to pick some strawberries. Wow, look at all these lovely strawberries, says Captain Dog.
Don't say that word,
groans Grandpa Pig, holding his tummy. Granny and Grandpa Pig have eaten too many strawberries.
Thank you for all the strawberries, Miss Rabbit,
says Peppa.
Now we can go home and make strawberry jam for everyone.
Say Granny and Grandpa Pig.
Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, Peppa.
Peppa and George love strawberries. Everyone loves strawberries. Peppa Pig, Delphine Donkey. This is Peppa's friend, Delphine Donkey.
Hooray!
Delphine lives in France.
Wow!
Peppa speaks English. Delphine speaks French.
Hello,
says Peppa. Bonjour, says Delphine. Delphine lives in a city called Paris. Peppa and her family like to go and visit.
Sometimes we travel on a train, says Peppa. And sometimes we travel on a boat.
Peppa and Delphine love exploring Paris together. They go to parks, jump in puddles and visit cafes.
Wow!
Would you like a croissant?
asked Delphine.
Says Peppa. Yes, please.
In the holidays, Delphine comes to stay at Peppa's house. They sleep at each end of Peppa's bunk bed.
I like sharing with you,
says Delphine. Peppa has lots of fun with her friend Delphine. They don't see each other very often. But that makes it extra special when they do.
Hooray!
Peppa loves Delphine Donkey. Everyone loves Delphine Donkey. The end. Peppa Pig Peppa meets the Queen. Peppa and her family are watching television. Suddenly, there is a special announcement from the Queen.
The Queen, the Queen!
Peppa cheers.
Hello to you all,
The Queen says.
Today I have decided to give an award to the hardest working person in the country.
Wow!
The hardest working person in the country is Miss Rabbit.
At the supermarket, Miss Rabbit is closing the shop when Mr. Zebra the postman presents her with a golden letter.
Miss Rabbit, please come to my palace to get a medal for all your hard work. Bring friends, all the best, the Queen. I can't visit the Queen, I've got too much work to do.
Miss Rabbit panics.
Don't worry, Peppa says. The Queen has made it a holiday.
It is the day Miss Rabbit visits the Queen. Peppa and her friends are going to.
We're off to see the Queen, we're off to see the Queen. E-I-A-D-O, we're off to see the Queen. Here we are,
Miss Rabbit squeaks.
Wow!
Look at all the fancy stuff.
Woof! Danny Dog says.
Don't touch anything,
Miss Rabbit warns.
Where is the Queen?
Emily Elephant asks.
Queen!
Susie Sheep calls.
Where are you?
In another fancy room, there is a lady sitting on a throne knitting.
Hello,
Peppa says.
have you seen the Queen today?
I am the Queen, the lady says.
The children are very excited to meet you, Your Majesty,
says Miss Rabbit.
I'm excited to meet all of you,
The Queen says, standing up.
And now for Miss Rabbit's medal.
Wow!
This is the Queen's award for industry. Keep up the good work.
The Queen puts a shiny gold medal over Miss Rabbit's head.
Cheers for Miss Rabbit,
The Queen says.
Hip hip, hooray,
Shout the children.
Hooray! Hooray!
Miss Rabbit and the children wear their boots to go out into the palace gardens with the Queen.
Do you play in your garden all the time, Your Majesty?
Danny Dog asks.
I don't have time for playing, no,
Answers the Queen. She suddenly stops.
Oh dear, a muddy puddle. Never mind, we can walk around it. You can't walk around a muddy puddle,
Peppa says.
you have to jump in it.
Peppa shows the Queen how to jump up and down in a muddy puddle.
I say, that does look fun,
The Queen says.
Here one goes then. Stop!
Shouts Peppa. Everyone gasps.
If you jump in muddy puddles, Peppa says. You must wear your boots, your majesty.
The Queen goes inside and comes back with her boots on. Everyone loves jumping up and down in muddy puddles, including the Queen. The end. Peppa's Gym Class. Peppa and her friends are going to the gym today. Everybody has got their gym kit on, except Pedro. Pedro is wearing a superhero costume.
I thought he was dressing up day to day,
he says. Grumpy Rabbit is the gym teacher. He swings down from the top of the climbing frame.
Wow.
Do we have to do that?
Gasps Emily Elephant. No, laughs Grumpy Rabbit. That's only for big athletes like me. Let's warm up, shouts Grumpy Rabbit. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Everybody reaches up to the ceiling. Now wobble like a jelly, says Grumpy Rabbit. Everybody shakes like a jelly on a plate. It is time for the first adventure. I want you to pretend that this room is a jungle, whispers Grumpy Rabbit.
But where are the trees?
asks Susie Sheep. You'll have to pretend, replies Grumpy Rabbit. Now imagine a river, says Grumpy Rabbit. Walk on this beam to get across it. Peppa and her friends tiptoe across the river. Well done, my little explorers, cheers Grumpy Rabbit. Grumpy Rabbit shows the children how to swing across a swamp full of crocodiles. That's what he did when he was in the jungle.
I can't see any crocodiles, says Pedro. You've got to pretend,
whispers Peppa.
What's our next adventure?
asks Danny Dog. Grumpy Rabbit points to a funny table. This is a vault, he says. Pretend that it's a dinosaur and crawl through its legs. Peppa and her friends start crawling. Madame Gazelle comes back in. Did you have a good gym class, children? She asks.
Yes,
cries Peppa.
we made it through the jungle.
You are real little explorers now, laughs Grumpy Rabbit. The end. Peppa's Pizza Party. It is lunchtime at Peppa's house.
Can we make pizzas?
Peppa asks. George loves pizza. So do Mummy and Daddy Pig. Peppa is excited to start, but first, everyone must wash their hands. They use soap and water to get all clean. When they are done washing, they gather ingredients. To make our pizzas, says Daddy Pig, we need flour, tomato, chimes in Mummy Pig, cheese, continues Daddy Pig, and toppings. But wait, there's something missing.
George likes pineapple on his pizza,
Peppa says. Pineapple? Daddy Pig repeats. On pizza? I think that's against the law. Peppa laughs. Daddy Pig is being silly. It is not against the law to put pineapple on pizza. Mummy Pig sprinkles a little flour on the table so that the dough doesn't stick. Then, with their clean hands, Peppa and George knead the dough. Bam, bam, bam!
I am big and strong,
Peppa says.
and George is big and strong too.
Next, they make the dough into 4 balls. These will become 4 pizza pies. Mummy Pig rolls the dough balls flat with her rolling pin.
Oh,
Says Peppa.
they look like pizzas now.
Mummy and Daddy Pig make a sauce with the tomatoes. Then Peppa and George smooth it over the dough.
I like making pizza.
Peppa says.
It's so fun.
Now it is time to decorate the pizzas.
Can we make happy faces on top?
Peppa asked. Of course we can, replies Daddy Pig. I'll use mushrooms to make eyes and olives for the smile. And I'll use onions for the eyes and basil for the smile, says Mummy Pig. Peppa uses sweet corn for the smile and little tomatoes for the eyes. George has pineapple for the eyes and cheese for the smile. Mummy Pig puts on her oven mitts. Then she places the pizzas in the oven to bake. When the pizzas are done, Peppa, George, Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig eat in the garden. Their pizzas are very good.
These are the best pizzas in the world,
says Peppa. Peppa loves pizza. Everyone loves pizza. The end. Peppa Pig, the children's fate. Peppa and her friends are at playgroup. Mr. Bull is checking the roof. Moo! Shouts Mr. Bull. Who put this roof on for you? You did, Mr. Bull, says Madame Gazelle. Mr. Bull nods. Lovely job. It will last you a lifetime. Madame Gazelle takes Mr. Bull inside. She points to the ceiling. It is leaking water. Look, she says, it is going drip, drip. You need a new roof, says Mr. Bull. Where are we going to get the money for a new school roof? Asks Madame Gazelle. The children have a good idea. They decide to put on a school fete to get the money for the new school roof. It is the day of the children's fete. Danny Dog is in charge of the microphone. Hello, grown-ups, he says. Get your money out for the new school roof. Emily Elephant is in charge of the bric-a-brac stall. Roll up, she calls. All sorts of bits and bobs. Says Mr. Fox. This all looks very interesting. Mr. Fox is always looking for bric-a-brac. Balloons, shouts Pedro Pony. Lovely balloons. May I have a red one, says Madame Gazelle. How much money have you got? asks Pedro. Madame Gazelle tips all of the coins out of her purse. Susie Sheep is in charge of the face painting stall. Can I be a mountain leopard, please? says Miss Rabbit. No, says Susie. I can only do fruit. Okay, says Miss Rabbit. Can I be a plum? decides Susie. Mr. Bull comes to visit Peppa. He has got a green face. I am an apple, he booms. Would you like to try the lucky dip?
asked Peppa. Everyone's a winner. Mr. Bull drops a coin into Peppa's tin. Mr. Bull reaches into the lucky dip barrel. He pulls out a dolly. Can I have a go? Asks Mrs. Cat. Mrs. Cat wins a toy digger. Oh, gasped Peppa. Do you want to swap? Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cat do not want to swap. They are pleased with their lucky dip prizes. Freddy Fox calls all the grown-ups. It is time for the mummies and daddies race. Everybody has to get into a sack and jump across the field. On your marks, get set, go! Shouts Freddy. The mummies and daddies have lots of fun jumping in sacks. At the end, Madame Gazelle has an important announcement to make. We have raised enough money to buy a new school roof, she cries. Again.
Hooray!
The end. Peppa Pig, George's balloon. Peppa and George are driving home with Granny and Grandpa Pig when they see Miss Rabbit's ice cream stall. Let's stop for an ice cream, says Granny Pig. Why not, says Grandpa Pig. I think we deserve it. Peppa, Granny and Grandpa Pig choose their ice cream. George is next. Dinosaur! Rawr! Says George. I think George wants a dinosaur balloon, says Miss Rabbit. All right, how much is it? Grandpa Pig says. £10, please, says Miss Rabbit. Grandpa Pig thinks the balloon is a bit expensive, but he buys it for George. Hold on tight to it, Miss Rabbit says. But George lets go and the balloon starts to float away. Grandpa Pig quickly grabs the string. This is very valuable, George. I'll hold on to it on the way home, says Grandpa Pig. Outside Granny and Grandpa Pig's house, George plays with his balloon. George, says Peppa, this is an up balloon, and if you let it go again, it will go up to the moon. Moon, cries George, and he lets the balloon go. The balloon goes up and up, but Grandpa Pig catches it just in time. Peppa and George have gone indoors to keep the balloon safe. Hello, Polly, says Peppa. George has got a new balloon. Cries Polly. Balloon! Both Polly and George love the balloon. Oh no! Cries George, letting go of the balloon. The balloon floats all the way out the door, up the stairs, and into the attic. Don't worry, it's safe in here, says Peppa. Don't worry, says Grandpa Pig as they follow the balloon up the ladder. The only way out of the attic is the window, and the window is always shut. But the window is not shut. The balloon escapes outside. Your balloon is going to the moon, George, says Peppa. Cries George. Just then, Daddy Pig arrives to take them home. Oh dear, says Daddy Pig. There must be some way we can get the balloon back, cries Granny Pig. Balloon, says Polly Parrot. Polly flies high up into the sky and catches the balloon string in her beak. Polly to the rescue, cries Grandpa Pig. Polly Parrot has saved the day. Hooray! Cheers George. Who's a clever Polly? Says Granny Pig. Who's a clever Polly? Repeats Polly Parrot. George, don't let go of your balloon again, says Peppa. Daddy Pig has an idea. I'll tie the balloon to your wrist, George, he says. That will stop it floating away. George is very happy. He loves his balloon. Everyone loves George's balloon. The
Peppa Pig, Grampy Rabbit's Boatyard. It is a lovely sunny day. Peppa, George and Granny Pig are going out with Grandpa Pig on his boat. "Ahoy there, Peppa and George," shouts Grandpa Pig. "I'll move the boat a bit nearer." Oh dear, Grandpa Pig's boat is sinking. "A captain never leaves his sinking ship," says Grandpa Pig. The boat sinks to the bottom of the river. Grandad Dog arrives on his boat.
Hooray!
"I'm taking my boat to the boatyard today," he says. "Would you mind taking mine too?" asks Grandpa Pig. "Of course," replies Grandpa Dog. "Where is your boat?" "I'm standing on it," says Grandpa Pig sadly. Grandad Dog's truck lifts the boat out of the water.
Wow!
"Next stop, the boatyard," says Grandad Dog.
What's a boatyard?
asks Peppa.
A boatyard is where broken boats get mended,
says Granny Pig. The truck arrives at Grampy Rabbit's boatyard. "Ahoy there, me hearties!" bellows Grampy Rabbit. "What happened to your boat, Grandpa Pig?"
Someone drove it into a mooring post,
says Grandpa Pig.
"Can you mend it?"
"Of course," says Grampy Rabbit. Grampy Rabbit examines a hole in Grandpa Pig's boat. "I need to find something to patch it up," says Grampy Rabbit. Grampy Rabbit collects scrap metal. He uses it to mend boats.
Wow!
Grampy Rabbit has lots of scrap metal. He has used some of it to build a submarine. "It fills up with water," says Grampy Rabbit, "so it's very good at going down, but not so good at coming back up." Grampy Rabbit finds an old washing machine. "Now this is what I've been looking for," he says.
"You're going to mend my boat with a bit of old washing machine?"
asks Grandpa Pig. "Yes," says Grampy Rabbit. Grampy Rabbit covers up the hole with the old piece of metal. "There, good as new," he says. "Hooray!" Everyone cheers. "Now we test it," says Grampy Rabbit. Everyone goes back to the river with Grandpa Pig's boat. "It floats," says Grampy Rabbit. "Usually they sink on the first go."
"Now we can go for our day on the river,"
says Peppa. Grampy Rabbit plays his banjo and everyone sings as the boat bobs up and down. The end. Peppa Pig and the Ambulance. Dr. Brown Bear is visiting Peppa's playgroup to show the children an ambulance. "Hello, Dr. Brown Bear," say the children. "Hello, children," says Dr. Brown Bear. "Does anybody know what this is called?" asked Dr. Brown Bear.
"It's a ambulance,"
says Molly Mole. "And who can tell me what it's for?" asked Dr. Brown Bear.
Taking sick people to the hospital,
Says Peppa.
Can we hear the na-na sound, please?
Asked Freddy Fox. Yes, says Dr. Brown Bear, but we normally only use that in a real emergency.
Dr. Brown Bear, can you show us what you would do in a real emergency?
Asked Madame Gazelle.
Wow.
Yes, says Dr. Brown Bear. I'll show you using this teddy. Dr. Brown Bear checks that the teddy is awake, asks the teddy his name, and asks him what happened. Then he bandages up his arm.
Wow.
And because you have been such a brave bear, you get a sticker, says Dr. Brown Bear, giving the teddy a yellow, smiley face sticker.
Hooray!
Wonderful, says Madame Gazelle. Children, say thank you to Dr. Brown Bear. Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear, say the children.
You're welcome, says Dr. Brown Bear. And remember, always look where you're going.
Woo!
Oh dear, Dr. Brown Bear has tripped over a ball. Oh no!
Dr. Brown Bear is rolling down the hill,
Cries Peppa.
He's rolled through a prickly bush,
Says Molly.
and he's hit a tree. Apples have fallen on his head.
Adds Zoe Zebra. Oh, groans Dr. Brown Bear.
Oh my goodness,
Gasps Madame Gazelle.
call an ambulance. The ambulance is over here.
Says Peppa.
Quick, everyone into the ambulance.
Says Madame Gazelle. Hooray! Shout the children as they run into the ambulance. The ambulance gets to the bottom of the hill.
Don't worry, Dr. Brown Bear,
Says Madame Gazelle.
we are here to make you better.
Thank you, but I don't need any help, says Dr. Brown Bear. The children check he is awake, ask him his name, and ask him what happened. I tripped over that ball and fell down the hill, says Dr. Brown Bear.
That was a bit silly now, wasn't it?
Says Susie Sheep.
Which bit is hurting?
Asked Pedro Pony. My arm, my leg, and here on my head, replies Dr. Brown Bear. Susie and Wendy Wolf bandage up Dr. Brown Bear.
Because you have been such a brave doctor, you get a sticker,
says Madame Gazelle.
Wow.
The children giggle.
Have a sticker, have a sticker.
They all cover him with smiley face stickers. Ah, oh, ow, cries Dr. Brown Bear.
Children, say thank you to Dr. Brown Bear for giving us such a wonderful demonstration of how the ambulance works,
says Madame Gazelle.
Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear,
cheer the children. It was my pleasure, groans Dr. Brown Bear. Dr. Brown Bear loves ambulances. Everyone loves ambulances. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.